And
Oh
I'm
shit.
typing. You went live when I'm typing.
Uh, oh,
God damn, dude.
oh shit.
First of all,
Let me get into character. All right, we're good.
wait, are we live?
We are live now. I'm in character.
Why didn't you get in character before we went live?
I'd be a shitty Superman, okay? We all know this. I'd be a shitty Superman.
Damn, dude.
I'd be flying
Thank
around
God
with
it's
glasses still on. Thank God it is Friday.
thank God it's Friday, because then I won't have to see you for 2 days. Welcome to the Legends Clubhouse. I am always on time, like Ja Rule, Bobby Caboose, and this is always let's delay the show 5 minutes. Lawson Turner, welcome to our show. Sorry we're 5 minutes late, dude. Now, so we encourage people every single day to enjoy their breakfast with us. And now you postponed our show for 5 minutes, and now they have a cold breakfast.
That's why they got microwaves for a reason. Unless you're eating cereal, in which
You
cereal's
have
already
no
cold.
sympathy for our fans. You have no sympathy for the audience. This is absolutely ridiculous.
I apologize
Anyway,
to all
so
legends and goobers out there. I appreciate you that watch.
so last night, man, we go to this festival, right?
Mm.
It's a yearly thing in the city that I live in, and it's like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday thing, and they have like live music. They have like a little carnival area for kids and shit. They have a
Yeah.
beer tent, blah 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 blah, art show. Well, so we end up going. There's a George Michael cover band, right? The guys, the band is called the George Michael Rebirth, right? Which I thought they should have the name the George Michael Experience, but
Yeah.
yeah. Um, so we're there, and last year we got to see a Spice Girls cover band, right? And the
Ooh.
Spice Girls cover band was pretty good, and the place was fucking packed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the weather wasn't looking too good, and I'm not sure if George Michael is as big of a draw as the Spice Girls, but there was a lot less people there yesterday.
Mm.
So we're sitting there and we're like, "Oh man, this is nice. Like there's not that many people. Like I mean, there it was still a decent sized crowd, but um so we start there was rumors in the air that a thunderstorm was going to approach.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, well, the chances are getting slimmer and slimmer. Well, when we get there, the clouds start moving in. So the clouds start moving in, and there's huge gusts of wind, and everyone's like, panicking and shit and getting on the pavilion. We're like, look, let's just stand here and wait until it starts actually raining because we're close enough to the pavilion to get in there when, if it starts pouring or something. So we go and we're watching George Michael do his thing. By the way, if anyone is familiar with Jerk Ferguson of the 64-bit Legends wrestling community, he was basically wearing his best Jerk Ferguson wig. His hair did not look real, especially after Melvin Troy fucking zoomed in on his camera to take a picture, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't think his hair's real. Like it looks like a very stringy wig." Um, so we're sitting there, we're listening. I don't know any of the songs because he's playing these fucking sort of somewhat deep cuts. And Melvin Troy's like huge fan of it, so he's like, I can't believe he's playing this song, whatever this song. So he gets through like three or four songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
It starts fucking pouring. So we get to the pavilion and he's still rocking. And he plays one more song. He plays Faith. Everyone knows Faith, right? You gotta have faith.
Yeah.
And then, Limp Bizkit, um, remade the song and all that stuff. So we're in there, and I was like, all right, do you think he's playing Faith because it's pouring out and he has faith that the storm will pass and we will still get to experience the George Michael rebirth?
That's a great thought process.
I see. And then I was like, on the other hand, if it doesn't let up, then you leave with a banger, right?
Right.
You leave with faith, right? So sitting there, and I was like, that was my, you know, hypothesis, right?
Mm.
So we were begging for last Christmas. Like I was like, dude, he could have let it up with like, I know that, it's raining, but the last time it rained, last Christmas and last Christmas,
Yeah,
yeah,
that would have been a really good
yeah.
build up.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Well, he didn't play it. Like you said, he played like four songs and it
Damn.
started raining. And but we were sitting under the pavilion and we keep seeing guys go up on stage. We see George Michael go back on stage without his wig, and we're like, hey, I think that's George Michael, but without the wig. Okay, we were far away, so
Yeah.
but I was like, I'm pretty sure that's what he was wearing when he left the stage.
Could you imagine going to see like a show and the lead singer coming back out with a different fucking hairstyle?
So So I was talking to Melvin and I was like, "Hey man, I go, do you think he's back there?" And just like, I need to go back out there. The people came for a great show. I'm gonna give them a great show. While it's fucking like tornadoing. Like, do you think do you think that happened backstage, or do you think like the mayor of Sterling Heights is like, look, man, we fucking paid you for a fucking hour. You better get your fucking ass back out there. And he's like, nah, man, I'm good.
It's really interesting for cover bands, due to like because they're not all your original stuff. I assume it's like a get into character thing. So he's in the
Yeah.
George Michael character, and then fucking when it starts raining, he might, that's a good point to where he might be in the back like, man, fuck this shit. It's already raining. Everything's gonna, either get wet or everyone's already not, as hyped anymore because they're all getting fucking rained on. And yeah, whoever got the band is like, guys, we paid you for an hour, not 20 minutes. Get the fuck back out there.
Um, Yeah, and so I don't know. We ended up leaving. We ended up like so the rain started lightening up, and we're like, all right, or we were like, let's go get some tacos from the taco truck, and see how the weather does, and see if they get back, they start playing again. So we go to the taco truck, and by the time we order, like the rain's starting to come down again, and we're like, all
Mm.
right, he's probably not going to go back on. Let's just walk back to the car in the rain, and we ended up recording a podcast. Anyway, pretty much probably about the same shit that we're going to be talking about today on this show
Mm.
is covered on the latest episode of 64-Bit Legends podcast when that drops. But yeah, man, it was the George Michael. I was hoping to hear a little bit more, but I was really hoping for Last Christmas. And I was like, and I want to ask you something. Do
Mm.
you think that like people with like a crazy Christmas hit song, like say like Mariah Carey, like, do you think if you go to a Mariah Carey concert, regardless on what time of year it is, do you think she plays her Christmas song? I think you have to.
That's a great idea that I never thought about. Because
I think you have.
like if you go to a Mariah Carey concert in like June or like now in
Yeah,
July, do I want to hear All I Want for Christmas Is You? I mean, yeah, I do.
yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. That's why like we were begging, we were like, all right, we were just kept setting up the intro, like, you know, guys in festival. Oh, today is Christmas Eve in July. Tomorrow is Christmas in July.
Yeah,
But you know what happened last Christmas? And everyone would be like, "Ugh."
right.
And they're like, last Christmas, I gave you my heart. The very next day, you gave it away.
Right.
Like it would have been a perfect intro.
Or at least, just how you set up last time with the rain. Last
Yeah.
time it rained on last Christmas, yeah.
The last time I was disappointed, last Christmas. Like,
Or
it would have been awesome, dude.
something to kind of leave it open ended for for everybody. Last Christmas, and then everybody just go
Yeah.
into it. Yeah,
Yeah. And then everyone's like, oh my God, Last Christmas,
Yeah.
you know, throwing snowballs and shit. Like we were hoping that, it was because it was very hot and muggy last night. It wasn't bad because like during the day, was way worse when the sun was out. But
Mm-hmm.
once the sun went down, it cooled down a little bit. But it was like very humid and shit.
Right.
But we were like, man, what if this turned into Woodstock 2025? And like people, it was fucking raining and shit, and people like start fucking around in the mud, and there's like mosh pits and shit. But then I don't know if you ever seen the documentary about Woodstock '99,
Mm-hmm.
where everything just went to shit. Like every Woodstock in every generation just gets worse and worse. So
Right.
like we were at this big like state park thing, and like we were like, yeah, what if like George Michael's is on there? People are going fucking crazy. We're like Woodstock 2025, blah, 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 blah. And then like a fucking lightning bolt comes and fucking hits like a power line, and the whole fucking woods and nice park sets up on flames, and people are fucking rioting, and people are fucking going tipping over taco trucks and trying to get tacos before we all die, and all this shit. Like it could have been fucking nuts, and we could have been on a Netflix series in a couple years,
Well, they
but
would.
didn't happen. But it didn't happen.
They would need to pay up the royalties.
I know, man.
I did.
And then then no one would be able to bike through this park. But no, it's funny because so the downtown area, or like
Mm-hmm.
the where like the city buildings are in,
Yeah.
they redid all this area. Well, they used to get for this festival, they used to get bands like Smash Mouth, Sugar Ray, like they actually got the band. Like they're like, fucking I forget who else played there. They used to get like legit people.
Mm-hmm.
Now they like redid the entire area and like put up all these fucking nice fancy facilities and shit. Now they get George Michael cover band. Now they get the headliner on Saturday is Quiet Riot. And I don't know if you know who Quiet Riot is, but they had one song, and it was I would have to look up the song. Let me look up the song real quick for you.
Yeah.
Um,
But bands like that, to where it's like you're not getting, not saying that they're not, genuine bands, but you're getting like, a cover band to headline, like a,
yeah,
Thursday night and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah. Come on, feel the noise. You know that song. Come
Yeah.
on, feel the noise.
Yeah.
Something, something, something,
Oh,
boys, or
right.
whatever the fuck it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that group. There's
Mm-hmm.
one song.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, they're just. I'm assuming what I would do if I was that band, I would open up with that song, and then I would end with that song, and I would probably never play anything in between. So
Depending upon whatever
it's
their time slot is.
yeah, I think each band is just an hour, maybe two. I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, man. So that was my evening last night. It got derailed from the rain,
Mm.
but we did end up, recording a podcast episode. Oh, excuse me. We're
Hey
live.
guys.
And yeah, and it's contagious.
It's very
Um,
contagious.
but yeah, so we ended up being productive.
It's good.
And we did see a large woman fall when
We
it got
love
rain,
that.
and she slipped on the grass, I'm guessing, and like she was like laying there for a little bit, and then people started running out and like helped her back in her chair, but she was limping heavy.
It's so funny. Nothing is
Not
more
funny, man. She could have got hurt.
okay. Nothing is more funny than when big people fall.
Unfortunately, I agree, sort of, but this one was like an old big
Oh,
woman. Like
damn.
it wasn't like a
It
funny
wasn't like a funny
fall.
one. It was like, oh, she could have broke her
Yeah,
shit.
I'm like, oh shit, she might have broken her leg or some shit.
Ah,
She might
the
drown
on-
in the puddle of the grass.
the only thing that is, kind of up there funny wise when big people fall, when little children like that just don't know what they're fucking doing when they fall, or
Yeah.
when they fall, down some, some dumb shit like my nephew, he was running down the hall and he did the kid fall where he I guess tripped over his own feet or something. He fell, went like this, landed on the ground, and then rolled on his back and was turtle shelling. And it took every, and so I just started busting out laughing.
Or
And,
spinning them.
bro, all I saw, cause I heard him run down the hall. I look over, he's turtle shelling on his back, and I'm like, yo, what did you fall on to roll onto your back? And my sister's like, did you see that? I'm like, no. She's like, he literally fell and then just rolled to his back and started turtle shelling. And I'm like, that's fucking hilarious, dude.
So, did you what was your big news for yesterday? Did you do anything last night or
Uh,
in between 24-hour shows?
Nothing really like, crazy. Just tied it up. Saw a bunch of news like when like Hulk Hogan passing away yesterday. That shit was kind of
Really
crazy.
did?
Huh?
He did?
Yeah, dude. You must have been off the internet. Yeah, but like it was just when I saw that I was like, "Damn, what's going on the past couple days?" And then I had texted my I had texted my dad, and he was like, "Damn, first Ozzy Osbourne, and now Hulk Hogan like 3 days later." And I'm like,
I
"Damn,
know.
something's in the water."
Hogan couldn't even get Hogan couldn't let Ozzy get over, dude. He had created control of his death.
I
It is weird that it's like the whatever anniversary of
It's so
him,
funny.
being a racist,
Yeah,
um, or whatever. And yeah, man. So he went into cardiac arrest and died at the hospital, and they couldn't revive him and shit.
that's what
I
I
thought he was
saw.
gonna Hulk out, dude. Like he like has a heart attack, and he thinks he's going down, but then he's like points.
Yeah,
Oh no, no heart attack. Punch, punch, punch.
right.
Off the ropes, big brute, and leg drop that fucking heart attack and survive. He is immortal, so
Yeah,
who knows if he's actually really dead. But
I,
yeah, dude, it's like you know myself and a bunch of people. That's like their childhood. It's just weird to think that like
yeah.
he's
When
gone.
I saw too a lot of people online, and they're like, "Oh, Hulk Hogan died. Let me throw something on the grill tonight." And I'm like, damn, dude, he fucking
Yeah,
died. Like, I understand to a certain extent on like the hate slash stigma around Hulk Hogan, because like I feel like a lot of wrestling fans, they can't separate like the art from the artist. Like for wrestling and as a professional, he was one of the reasons as to why like WWE and professional wrestling is what it is today. From like
yeah,
he was one of the first that really took it global, like made it popular and
yeah.
global, and then
He is, regardless on who comes next, he is the biggest pro wrestler to ever live.
yeah,
Like it's not even close. Like it's like okay, like yeah, you have The Rock, who's a global superstar, like global, outside of wrestling and all that.
mm,
You have John Cena, you have Roman Reigns, you have Austin, you have The Rock, you have Shawn. Name whoever. There's no one without Hogan. Like
right.
Hogan is the fucking I don't know George Washington, the fucking
He's the pioneer.
yes, dude. Like there is no one bigger than him. Like you have your Mount Rushmore. He may not be on your Rushmore because he's the fucking planet.
Right.
Like like
Mm,
sorry, like he is. Like there would be no professional wrestling without this guy. Like and it's fucking crazy to me that it's like how loved and how huge he was in the 80s, and then when he revamped his character and turning heel with the NWO and stuff, and how big he was to now how hated he is, where it's almost like a 50-50 split.
yeah.
um and I think he is the definition of you don't want to meet your heroes. Like
Yeah, because
I mean,
from every story, he's a dick. I mean,
yeah,
obviously there are good things. Like I'm sure you've seen. There's this video of like this 6-year-old going into like a wrestling store where Hogan's there like signing and stuff, and then
yeah,
the little kid's cutting a promo and talking as him,
yeah,
and then he fucking like flexes and does the 24 pythons, and then the kid rips off the shirt, and Hulk's just like
yeah,
whoa, because
yeah.
it's to me, there's when he's as the character and then outside of the character. That's why a lot of times where you put it in a good words where it's the definition of don't meet your heroes, because from all the other stories, he's a selfish lying dick,
Right.
as some. I feel like once you hit that level, it's really hard to teeter away from the good from the bad side. Like
Yeah.
if there's the fork in the road, and you have the fans, the money, the millions, the publicity, and all that stuff, it's really hard to stay 100% good all the time.
Right. And like you just said, I was gonna say it's hard to be Hulk Hogan all the time. Like, you're gonna have your bad days. You're gonna be sick of it at some point. Like I mean, like, as good of a dude that John Cena seems, like he still had fucking Nikki Bella sign a 75-page contract to live with him.
Yeah.
Right? So there's always gonna be something, that's
Mhm.
outside of the character that as an actual character and the character of themselves out there. So like, you know the does everywhere you go and being bothered everywhere you go, does that take a toll and you just become a dick? Like, maybe,
Mhm.
but like, we but did he like that aspect of it? Like, did he like getting the attention? He could have, like, it's just it's a weird thing because, like you said, like, it's like, okay, everyone gets irritated at some point.
Yeah.
Is that being like, is that when you come across them, who knows, but yeah, it's crazy that he's probably leg dropping everyone in the big wrestling ring in the sky.
Mhm.
They probably cleared the ring for him so he could get over and he could pose for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really because once again, a lot of the I wasn't around when he was at his peak, but being a historian of like wrestling and stuff, the and especially like my dad talking about it, it's like, oh, he was one of the goats, to where he really took it from like a really small promotion and really took it worldwide,
Yeah, 100%, dude. Like, I mean, the only person that's main evented more WrestleManias is Roman Reigns.
which is no
Like, and
next.
that's up until recent, like
Yeah,
Hogan main evented 8 WrestleManias. Roman's at 10. So like, I mean, there would be no WrestleMania, there would be no WWE. Like, it's crazy on the impact that this one guy had. Like, he was just it, man, and like,
yeah.
he was bigger than wrestling.
He was almost bigger than
He
life because he was what six
Right.
eight until he started getting his neck fused together and stuff like that. And
Yeah, yeah.
I
He
think
was like
I think we're from
six,
six
six,
eight to
seven.
I was gonna say I think it was like 6'7", 6'8" to 6'4", because he had all those
Mm,
fusions in his neck. But yeah, like
yeah,
to go back to the heel thing, when you see a lot of former wrestlers and stuff, saying, "Oh, well, do you prefer being a babyface or a heel?" There's a lot of people that say, "Oh, the babyface for like your merchandise check and all that stuff," which is great and being popular. But I'm sure if you ask, more often than not, they enjoyed being a heel more because you with the fans, if you're a face, you have to be happy, sign pictures.
yeah,
When you're a heel, you can do anything and it's okay.
yeah. Especially in the days of kayfabe, man. Like, well, back when they didn't break character and shit when they were out in public and stuff.
Hmm.
Like, it probably takes a toll. Like, what? I'm not fucking condoning, what he's done or whatever, but like, sometimes you just got to be a dick, dude. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
but
know. But
yeah.
I mean, like I said, dude, he from WrestleMania 1, I think he main evented the first 5 or 6 WrestleManias. The first one was obviously with Mr. T,
Hmm.
um, and versus Orndorff, and I know Cowboy Bob Orton was out there, and
Yeah.
Roddy Piper.
Hmm.
So, and the second one he main evented, which WrestleMania 2, they never talk about WrestleMania 2, because they tried to. Do you know anything about WrestleMania 2?
Other than it was the second one.
So they did an experiment where they held WrestleMania in 3 separate cities and ran it all at the same time, and they so on the screen you saw three angles. So
What?
yeah, that's why they never talk about it because like it was just like they had an idea and it just didn't work the way they thought it out. So Hogan main evented one of the locations and he was in a steel cage match against King Kong Bundy.
Hmm.
WrestleMania 3 is obviously Andre at the Pontiac Silverdome here in Michigan.
That's still one of
Um,
the craziest moments.
yeah, WrestleMania 4, I believe was it Warrior? It might have been Warrior. No,
Hmm.
that was 5. Maybe the 4 was against Macho Man.
Hmm.
5, I think, was against Warrior. 6 was against Sergeant Slaughter. Um, and then I don't know if he was there for 7. I'm not 7 might have been the first one that
He missed
I'm
third
not
in
sure.
main event.
Yeah,
Let me see if I
something like
can
that.
find
I
it
don't.
real quick. Yeah, so okay, so those are just events. Here we go. So yeah, in one it was Piper, Orndorff, Bundy, Andre, Double DQ. In the fourth one, Hulk Hogan, and Andre. Then it was Savage. Then it was Warrior at 6.
Who was at
Slaughter
4? Who's at 4?
at 4. It says Double DQ, Hogan, and Andre.
Oh, so they ran it back.
I guess they double DQ'd.
Okay.
Once again, in 1988, that was a little before my time.
Yeah, I was 1.
Yeah, and then it was you're right. It's Savage, Warrior, Slaughter, and just going down the list from there.
Yeah. So I mean, like, um, like I said, it's kind of crazy. I'm shocked that Ric Flair didn't go before him.
That's what
Uh,
a lot of people were saying. Like, how come Ric Flair's still here and he's damn near
yeah,
still wrestling?
yeah, yeah. They said that they were saying that that Real American Beer, that tour that he was on last year, like I guess his like team and his agent like they ran him to fuck pretty much, well, ran him to death. Like his schedule was like I guess insane for like a 70-year-old.
Who,
And
Hogan?
yeah,
I was
when they
gonna
were
say because
promoting
he
that
was
beer.
I remember it might have been February. No, not February. It might have been in December or November. He was whatever UFC event was. It was in Tampa, and he walked out with
Yeah,
Kobe Covington to his "I'm a Real American" theme
yeah,
song, walking to the ring, and that was like the not quintessential last time we saw him, but to my knowledge, he hasn't been in any. Like the last time I think he did a WWE thing was when they first went to Netflix.
yeah. And he got booed off. Like that's the last time, and he got booed out of the
Yeah.
fucking arena, which is like I said, insane to me. Like imagine like how big this dude was back in the 80s and 90s, and then like the most popular fucking like dude. Like if you asked anyone, like I would bet everything that I fucking own in the 1995. You ask anyone name a pro wrestler,
Hulk.
and they're gonna say Hulk Hogan.
Right.
So like, um, it's kind of crazy to think that he became that hated. But yeah, man, I mean, attitude with the wrestlers, the creative control, like stories coming out,
Hmm.
just him kind of lying and about stuff, and
I
then the
think
racist stuff, and
I think my favorite Hulk Hogan semi lie is when on Undertaker's podcast he was talking about when he tombstoned him and he's like, I need you to be take it safe on an old man basically, and he's like, Hulk,
yeah,
you're gonna be fine. You're not even gonna touch the ground. And then afterwards, he got like stretchered out to the back after he took it, and he's like, "Oh, you dropped me too hard on my neck." And then Taker saw the because Taker's like, "Oh fuck, I'm the dude that paralyzed the
yeah,
goat." And then he goes back and rewatches the match, and is like, "Dude, your head didn't even hit the ground." And then when he confronted Hulk about it because he was limping around, like I guess a couple weeks later, he was like, "Oh well, you squeezed me so hard that it popped my like." Hulk, shut the fuck up. Your head didn't even fucking touch. You were once again. I'm not taking the damn tombstone from the Undertaker, but I assume if I did, my head wouldn't even fucking touch, because once you have that level of being a professional, it's kind of like Hulk was on a CVV podcast, Chris Van Vliet, and they were talking about like the punches and stuff, and Hulk flat out told, he said, I could hit you in the head with a hammer and you wouldn't feel it,
Yeah.
because once you hit that level of being, a professional wrestler and an actor and a professional stuntman per se, you can throw the most realistic punch, and he's not even making
Right.
contact.
Well, yeah, Ric Flair would like in that documentary about Ric Flair, like
Hmm.
he said that like he would put like a string in a doorway and he would punch the string and he would get to the point where the string wouldn't move.
Yeah,
So
it's
like,
just that
you
level
know,
of that level of precision over time. You
yeah,
become that. It When you're throwing out fake punches for the most part, until someone hits your ass for real, then you got to give them a receipt. Um,
yeah.
Dude, my favorite receipt was when I think it was Braun Strowman versus Brock, and
I mean,
Braun kneed him in the
like, slow the
face,
fuck down.
and then fucking Brock just gets up and hits him with like a 3-piece and hits him for real, and
Yeah.
that shit
He
right
told
there.
me he yelled slow the fuck down.
Yeah, which, I mean, for big brawler dudes, I get it. However, it's just funny because, like, dude, out of everyone that you're gonna, not saying that Braun did it on purpose, but that you might fuck up on accident. Brock's not the
Yeah.
one that I'm gonna make sure, because once again, bro was a professional, ball collegiate athlete, former, one of the last people got from the Vikings, actual fucking heavyweight champion of the world in the UFC. Like, nah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, bro's built like a Viking.
Dude, like, my buddy always says, dude, like, that's what, you know, hopefully this doesn't get us canceled, but that's what Hitler had in mind, fucking Brock Lesnar, like fucking blonde hair, blue eyes, fucking beast,
Six,
like
6'4", 300
shooting
of
me out
muscle,
of a
dude.
fucking factory, dude, like crazy.
I think when he was beefing with, well, not really beefing with DC, but DC's and Daniel Cormier, Joe Rogan said that if you were to drop him back in the Vikings, he would be on the biggest horse, carrying the biggest battle axe. Like, people aren't made like that.
No, dude.
That's why
His
when,
daughter,
dude, oh, I speaking of Brock's daughter, so you know how she's like, collegiate
shot
superstar of the
crazy, dude.
dude, for yeah, um fuck, what's her name, Mark Hunt's daughter was being interviewed. Do you know who Mark Hunt is?
No.
Okay, he's a UFC fighter that Brock fought twice, and
Okay.
and his daughter is training in MMA and stuff like that, and she was being interviewed by an ESPN affiliate, and they talked about potentially, completing the trilogy of Brock and Mark Hunt for his daughter, and she was like,
Tag team match.
huh?
Should be a tag team match.
She was like, oh,
UFC tag team match.
she was like, "Oh, that'd be a great idea. I know Dana would promote, the hell out of it, but once again, Brock's daughter doesn't, train MMA." So she looked at the camera and said, "Hey, let's fucking do it. I think it'd be awesome, So if I think her name's Maya. If Maya Lesnar ever wants to, dabble in that, I think it'd be a crazy sell."
Yeah, they should do an intergender tag team match in UFC. Like, they maybe like instead of like in a corner, they can I don't know. I was thinking about it, because they had a Lions Den match in WWE where it was almost like a UFC ring, but then there's a platform on the top. So maybe they're on the top. There's a platform on the top, and where they can reach down and tag.
And then drop
And
and
yeah,
then drop down.
yeah,
That's
yeah. I think we can get this in the works.
Hey, I
We
mean,
can
it's
get
a good idea.
tag tag team UFC. I think, and then we can eventually get 6 man and
Have
Survivor Series UFC matches. Like, you come in and you still can tag, but once you tap or get knocked out, you're out.
Have you seen those? They have those like in. They have those in. I think Russia, because of course it is, where they'll have like a genuine team MMA match, and it'll be like a four on
No,
four. Yeah,
I thought I was being revolutionary right now.
no, they're all eight like in the
I thought I was
ring.
I thought I was being revolutionary. I thought I was being a visionary. I thought I was being Seth frickin' Rollins.
You'll always be Seth Rollins in here.
Uh,
But yeah, like, and it's genuinely those exact same thing where it's like all eight dudes are in the fucking ring. If you get knocked out or tapped, you're fucking done, and then it's a 4 on 3 and stuff like that. But it's really interesting to whenever they
Just
like
just imagine being outnumbered by one person real quick.
in
You're
it,
down like 4-3 and like you're just getting pummeled by two people like for real. I'll
dude.
be like I'm
Dude, 100%. Oh, and it's funny you brought up, Survivor Series, the old time how they used to do it as opposed to the War Games or whatever they annually do. But I wish that they'd go back to it like the original 5 on 5 because that was the cachet for Survivor Series.
right. And I wish they would do it like they did it in the early 90s, like where it was like basically every match was a Survivor Series match. Like you have like some of the teams were like seemed like completely random.
Mm,
Um, other teams, you would have like, oh, this makes sense. But like, yeah, like they have enough guys on the roster and enough factions to actually do it now, to be like, oh, okay, we're gonna have a actual just card of Survivor Series matches.
yeah.
I think it would be pretty cool because like yeah, like I used to have mixed feelings about the brands. Like, oh, Survivor Series is just Raw versus SmackDown. I get you have to have that, but why do it at a Survivor Series type thing? I'm like, you know, that's one of the big four. Make it mean something.
Yeah.
Like brand supremacy doesn't matter in the fans' eyes.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't fucking care who's better, SmackDown or Raw. Like I always thought Raw was just better.
I remember
It's the flex.
I think it was in 2009 and 2010, they had the bragging rights pay-per-view, and Raw won
Yeah,
both of them, and I was like, well, damn, if they had it set for a three-peat, I guess they, kind of scratched it to where, because once Raw won both of them, I'm like, okay, well, they're not doing third.
yeah,
If you're going to do, like,
exactly.
it in rubber match per se and stuff like that. But yeah, I always wish that they would go back to the original 5 on 5, because I can remember a lot of those awesome, Survivor Series moments,
Yeah,
I think
yeah, 100%.
I think especially going from like my childhood, when Ziggler came back from it was like 1v4 to disband the Authority and stuff like that, and Sting came back. That shit was just sick, and
Yeah,
a lot of people saying. A lot of people, will make the joke on the reference like, oh, that he was Captain America in fucking the Avengers Endgame, where it's like, dude, that's all you got, bro, and you just gonna have to make
dude,
some shit shake.
we were always thinking that Sting was gonna win the Divas title, but he never did. Um, well, so we would always joke because like, Sting held out for so long of going to WWE, and then I was
Mm.
like, watch them like bring him over. He's the last WCW guy. Bring him over, and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna put you in the women's division, and you're gonna win the Divas title, and you're gonna wear that butterfly all over the place, and just dominate all the women with the Scorpion Death Drop and the leg lock.
That would have been so funny. But yeah, I feel too like when you spend so long in a rival company, when they bring you on, it's like, okay, for as big of a character as you are, because he was pro dominant in WCW and stuff like that. Are they gonna kind of give him like some not a bullshit job, but are they gonna
Yeah,
like propel him? Because once again, he was fucking old too. Are they gonna
right.
give him like the genuine spotlight because Sting the character was so large?
Right. Yeah, and the thing is too is like, okay, like how much can you actually do with him? Because like he's not gonna be there weekly.
Hmm.
He's gonna be a surprise thing, like, how like Lesnar, Roman is now, CM Punk's more regular, but
Yeah.
like, okay, like you're not gonna have a match on Raw.
Drop him
Like
in
you're
once
not.
every 2 months, and it'll be a surprise.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, like how much do I really want you part of the program if you're just gonna pop up every once in a while? So
Mm.
that's why I love how Logan Paul's there like a weekly. Like I honestly think Logan Paul is one of the best heels in wrestling right now. Like
Yeah.
he's incredibly talented in the ring, especially for like not training as a wrestler like his whole life. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, he's been doing it for a couple of years, and then he's just natural on the mic too. He's a natural heel. People, like he's got all these followers, and
yeah.
yet people want to hate on him. And I'm sure that like Hogan, he might not be the best person to meet. I don't know how he is in his personal life. He could be awesome. He could
Yeah.
be, a dick. Who knows? But um, the dude has fucking talent, man. And whoever thinks like he shouldn't be in wrestling, like go fucking look at someone else, dude. Like he is phenomenal.
There are a lot of other celebrities that tried that crossover and it just didn't work.
Dude, he is better than 95% of the AEW roster. I'll just say that right now. Like it's
Yeah. The I don't like him just because he's a heel, and I don't like.
yeah.
I remember growing up, and yeah, I remember growing up when him and Jake were doing like all their YouTube shtick, and I don't know, they just weren't. They were not my. They didn't produce the content I was searching for, and
Your
stuff like
cup of
that.
tea.
For layman's terms, yeah.
I don't
But
know if
then
I've ever seen any of their YouTube videos.
Yeah, I mean, I know his podcast does fucking well because I see from clips everywhere to a lot of the high valued people and stuff that he has on there, just the ability to make that transition. Because at first when I saw him, in the WWE stuff, it's like, okay, he's an athlete. How far are they really gonna push him? Then I saw like his third match ever was like was against Roman. I was like, I don't know if it's like if he's getting too hard of a push. I know the following's there, so you're getting the extra eyes on it.
Yeah.
And then you see him in the ring, and it's like, oh, he is one of the most athletic guys on the roster.
Yeah, he's
I
legit.
I already knew from him being in the spotlight for the past 12 years that he's gonna be good on the mic. Because
And he fucking sells, dude. Like
yeah,
he
he just
like
has the ability
sells
to
people
draw.
shit. Like it's like like you look at guys like that Will Ospreay and in AEW, that dude takes Canadian destroyers and just like it's like a slap in the face. Like he just gets up from him, and I'm like, dude, like people are saying this guy's the best in the world, best wrestler in the world currently, and he doesn't sell like anything, and I'm like. It's not
The
wrestling, dude. I don't care if you can do little flippy flops and fucking gymnastic moves. Like wrestling is about storytelling, it's about emotion, it's about selling, it's about, you know, it's portraying a real fight.
mm,
Like if someone fucking Canadian destroys your ass outside on the cement, you're not fucking getting up.
right. It's I don't know. To me too, it is a all of it's an art.
Yeah.
Especially when you get to that umpteenth degree. For the for the celebrity crossovers, I was like, what are they doing to the draw and the company that I used to love growing up as a kid? And then when I see him, it's like, oh, I don't know I don't know what your thought process is, but like for SummerSlam, they have Orton and Jelly Roll against
Yeah.
Drew and fucking and Logan Paul. And I saw because Stephanie now has her own little podcast, so I see clips and stuff about it, and she had Judd Roll on there, and he said when they were doing SummerSlam in fucking Ohio, ill when he
Yeah.
choke slammed. I think it was Logan Paul when he choke slammed him the first time, in the ring and got a big pop. He said, "Dude, I immediately fell in love, and I forget how much of a live production team." He said, "Because I immediately went to the back. I was like, guys. I fucking love this. I don't want to do it again." And he was like, "Hunter, if I lose another 60 pounds, can I go out and do it?" And then he was like, "I want to lose, X amount of weight because I want to have like a genuine match." And it's great to see people that probably were fans of it, growing up, but then when they get the first taste of it, it's like, dude, that shit hits different.
See, okay, so I've never been a real big fan of like the celebrity matches,
Yeah, me too.
but but they've happened forever. Like I don't get pissed about it. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's just a fucking spot, whatever, dude. But like people that are like, oh my god, I can't believe they would get a slot to Jelly Roll, at SummerSlam, blah, 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 blah. Dude, the first fucking WrestleMania had Mr. T in it.
In the
The
main
fucking
event.
Yes, there's been fucking Jay Leno had a match. Fucking Karl Malone had a match. Fucking David Arquette won the fucking title in WCW. They brought in Tyson. They brought in Trump. They brought in, they bring in a bunch of people. Like
The
it happens all the time. This is not a new thing.
hmm
So when people like are like pissed about it, I'm like, dude, like just don't watch it then. Fucking who cares, dude? It's one fucking match. And between like, okay, obviously Orton is gonna carry the match, and he's gonna be battling against Drew and Logan for the most part, and Jelly Roll will probably get, a couple spots in, but that's
yeah.
it. Like it's fine. Like no one fucking cares.
I don't
Or you
remember who
shouldn't.
I don't remember who it was. I want to say it was in like 2015 or 2016 when someone hit Cena with a chair to help
Mhm.
Rollins at SummerSlam, and once again it was a
John Stewart.
yeah, and it was like, oh, because Ric Flair's better, blah. And it's like
Yeah.
now no one really gives a shit because in the moment it's like, oh, what is this goober, just doing it just to do it? And you look at it 10 years later, it's like, oh, well, no one talks about it because who cares? I'm
Right.
right there with you where when I was younger I didn't like it, and now I understand it because it's
Yeah.
it's just a spot, it's just for another audience, and
Right.
that's all it will ever be unless you are a draw like a Logan Paul, to where you can be like an actual there every Monday wrestler.
Yeah, like yeah, it's entertainment, man. It's not a real fight. Like, like and growing up when you still believe that it's real and all that, and I'm like, okay, like DDP's teaming up with Karl Malone against Hulk Hogan and Rodman, and I'm like, all right, okay, like they have beef on the NBA court, okay, like and like again, you think I was 10 years old thinking it was still somewhat real,
Yeah.
and my neighbor, my neighbor's dad, um broke the news to me that it wasn't real,
You're like,
and
yeah, Steve.
my my mom was pissed at him. My mom was fucking pissed at him for
Yeah,
telling him.
you're
But my response was like when he told me it wasn't real, I go, well, how do you fall off a ladder? And how does it not hurt?
yeah,
Like that was my response. I'm like I didn't like I'm like, okay, like obviously I know like you know, me doing a move on a kid that it didn't really hurt him. I'm like, okay, like on a trampoline, right? So like
yeah,
I'm like, okay, and obviously you see where sometimes where they throw a punch and they like completely miss, and you're like, huh, he didn't even hit him there. But that was my response. I'm like, how do you fake falling off a ladder? How do
yeah,
you fake going through a table? Like I know the tables are usually gimmicked or whatever, but like I'm like, the shit still has to fucking hurt. You're still falling from a fucking
yeah.
distance. Like,
I remember when John Moxley was getting stabbed in the forehead the other week, or like a month ago with a fork. And fucking,
like a
I
week ago.
huh?
It was like a week ago.
No, it was like 3 weeks ago. Anyways,
No, it was like a week ago.
anyways,
Wasn't it
at,
last weekend?
no,
Yes, it was.
it was like, anyways. So
It was 2 weeks ago. Sorry.
womp womp. Anyways, so I was,
It wasn't a month ago.
it was closer to a month ago than it is today. Any hoozles. So I'm sitting there watching the clip, and I'm like, oh, because my sister's boyfriend's mama, his like grandma, she's super big into wrestling and
What is,
stuff.
what's a
Yeah,
mamaw?
mama's like your grandma.
What the fuck is a mamaw? Is that a Georgia thing?
It's like a southern thing, like a lot of people a lot of people have nicknames for like their elders and stuff like that. And
Hey, what
so
do you call a Pepsi?
what I call who?
A Pepsi. Like if you order a Pepsi at
Soda.
a
But I'm not calling it a
okay.
pop. I'm not calling it pop because it's a northern thing. Anyways,
We call it pop up here, but I always like to say soda,
yeah.
just because people don't like soda up here. Like I'm like, I don't have soda, but I wasn't sure if you were in a spot. I think it might be either like Mississippi or Alabama where they call everything a Coke.
Yeah, I know it's talking about how, yeah, let me get a Coke. Oh, we don't have Coke, we got
Yeah,
Pepsi. Mm. And
Yeah, I'll
they
take.
did the old man grunt. Yeah, though. But
Yeah,
so um, I was showing my sister the clip because she was still like, she's still on the, like that shit's fake. I'm like, yo, Lydia, this
yeah.
shit is this shit look fake? She's like, is that real blood? I was like, it's coming out of his fucking head.
It's
And
like
she,
scolding.
dude, for real. I'm like, yeah, it looks fucking real. She's like, I don't know about that. This shit just looks fucking. And I'm like, so then I pull up the clip of them doing the spike bat or
Yeah,
the what was it, nails, like the nail
yeah,
mocks his back, and she was like, is it like stuck in his back? I'm like, they're trying to fucking pull it out. And she was like, and so I was explaining to her, I'm like, it's scripted entertainment. However, like all, and she brought up the point. Well, what about the chairs? I'm like, them chair shots are fucking real, dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There's a way. There's a certain way you're supposed to
hit
hit them, like
somebody.
so.
Yeah,
They're flat.
and yeah, and then I brought up the I brought a little bit tongue twister. I brought up the Hogan story where it's like, yeah, he could hit you with a hammer and you wouldn't feel it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
did you see? Ever see any of his infamous chair shots? They
Oh,
weren't hit very hard either. Like,
yeah. However, the chair shots back in the day were fucking OD. Like they were just CTE City.
it is interesting. Like I was looking at like people's replies on X and stuff about Hogan's death, and like Tony Schiavone had an interesting one. Did you see that one?
No, what do you
Tony,
say?
he had said
Damn.
something about was it? Did you hear that? My phone going off?
Ding ding
Um,
ding.
yeah. So um, someone asked like like we're assuming Hogan was a longtime friend to you, like hopefully you're doing well. And he just writes back. He goes, longtime friend, no. Coworker, yes.
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
damn, Shivani.
That's so
Like,
funny.
oh my
I
God.
It really makes me, understand how a lot of people can't, separate. Cause like example,
Yeah.
another one, and I'm not saying that they're on the same level, but like Benoit, excellent wrestler,
Yeah.
shitty human being.
Right. And honestly, man, like okay, like of course I'm not gonna condone what fucking Benoit did,
Right.
but apparently Benoit was a really nice guy.
Yeah, from
Like
everything that I've heard and seen, I think it was there was some wrestler that said, yeah, like I had to do an impromptu like leave to go on the road, and yeah, I let Benoit watch my kids for like a week.
right.
Like from
Or
everything.
like
Yeah.
there was stories about like Benoit like giving money to like other wrestlers that couldn't like when they're doing like staying in motels and shit. Like if someone couldn't afford to stay, he'd either be like, you can stay in my room, or if the room was $50 and you only had 40, he'd give you $10 to
Yeah.
be able to stay in the room, and shit. Like so, there's I definitely think the fucking I mean CTE and shit obviously played a part in that,
hundred
because
percent.
when they studied his fucking brain, they said he had the brain of like an 80-year-old dementia patient.
Yeah, it was
So
destroyed.
you know who fucking knows what happened that night.
Hmm.
Mentally. He might have had like an episode or something, killed his wife and his kid, realized what he did, and fucking freaked out and
Killed himself.
couldn't
Yeah.
live with himself.
Yeah.
So who knows, man. But anyway, we weren't there. Um, but yeah, man, R.I.P. Hulkster. He's dropping legs in the sky, maybe giving God a big boot.
Big
But
boot.
he's posing with the
Hmm.
24 inchers. Um,
Yeah.
Hope must pose, dude. So, it is. You know what? I always got a laugh out of was that Hogan's. He was the biggest wrestler like ever, yet he had the most ridiculous hair. And like, I'm
He,
like, dude, like you literally had a skullet for
dude,
like almost your entire career,
uh,
and it got old.
I call it the cul-de-sac head. When it goes down in
Yeah,
cul-de-sacs. I remember this one time I was visiting my dad, and my dad has like that cul-de-sac head, so I fucking I get in front of him, to block wherever he's going, and I start doing this, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He said, I'm letting the plane over the landing strip is," and and he said, "You fucking dick, get the fuck out of my
Yeah,
face." I
can't
thought
wait
it
till you
was,
start losing your hair.
huh?
I can't wait till you start losing your hair.
Dude, I fucking hope
Yeah,
not,
fuck, I
bro.
hope not, bro.
I know, man. I'm pretty lucky, dude. I'm
Yeah,
almost 40 and I don't have a receding hairline yet, or really, and I got a nice
head of
healthy
hair.
head of hair.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, so let's get to these Nerfies. I think I won yesterday.
absolutely
Um
not.
but people say otherwise.
Mine didn't hit
Um
either. Like, bro, I'm literally sitting here looking at the home run that was hit in the bottom of the
you
first.
know, do you know if every game had a run in the first inning?
I know, like, a lot of them did. Let me see.
Because I
One,
was thinking about and I actually forgot it to do it. I was gonna do a 5 game parlay. I was gonna do 2 of them, one with all your fees and one with all Nerfies, and see if one would hit because I know it would be a great payout. Just
every single game but one had a run in the first inning, and it's so funny because literally at the end of the show yesterday, you were like, bundle them all up and just fucking parlay them and win some money, and every single one other than one scored in the first inning, and it's like
yeah.
that's grand.
I was like I said, there like because you don't get those days that often in baseball season when there's less than
Eight,
10
eight,
games.
yeah, 18. I was
Yeah.
gonna say there was only five yesterday.
So today we're gonna bounce back with a division rival. We're going with the Guardians, who are bringing Gavin Williams to the mound. He's 6-4 with a 3.54 ERA and 106 strikeouts. They're taking on the Kansas City Royals with Michael Waka Waka. He's got a 4.9 record. We don't care about records here. 3.62 ERA and 85 strikeouts. The game will be at 8:10 Eastern time. So by 8:20, you should be cashing in your Nerfy of the day.
I,
Guardians Royal.
I got an interesting one. Give me the Braves and the Rangers. For the Rangers, Nathan Eovaldi is on the mound with a 7-3 record, a 1.58 ERA. I think he's been one of the most underrated pitchers since he was with the Red Sox. Like,
Yeah.
he's just always been a super consistent pitcher, and that's not the reason why I just wanted to spotlight him for a minute. And here's where it gets a little scary.
I
For the
blow him on the show all the time. Nathan Evaldi,
Yeah,
like, dude, I own his ass in MLB The Show.
we love that. Now for the Braves, here's where it gets scary. Joey Wentz is on the mound. And he has a 5.71 ERA with 36 strikeouts. Zero saves, so he doesn't normally start. However, the Rangers offense fucking blows. Like, they're just, for whatever reason, they just, I feel too, like, especially with the Rangers, ever since they defeated the Diamondbacks in the World Series, they've just been like on a
Yeah.
downwards trajectory, and it's not like due to lack of good players or pitching, or like your superstars have gotten hurt. It just seems like, I mean, obviously Adolis Garcia, he's not hitting 120 ribbies anymore and 36
Yeah.
home runs. So I don't know if it was just they caught fire throughout time or whatever, but that is my Nerfy, the Braves and the Rangers, and that is at
All right.
8:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So we got our Nerfies. Today is Friday. We
Whoop
will
whoop.
be back on Monday. We usually are live Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. We'll try to let you know if we ever try to or need to reschedule anything. Usually it's last minute, but we apologize for that. But, Lawson doesn't like to plan anything. He's like, I need more sleep, or I'm hungover, or oh, my internet doesn't work. Whatever his nerd ass fucking says over there.
Anyways, I got a special announcement real quick.
Oh God.
As official as of a few days ago, but I didn't know when to bring it up. New Leaf News is officially on MSN. Whoop whoop!
We are officially syndicated on MSN. Huge news for the New Leaf. Where every day is growth, or something like that, whatever our slogan is. But Speaking of that, check us out, on newleafnews.com/.network. Both of them take you to the same great site. Like Lawson said, we are now, figuring out our partnership with MSN. We're growing by the day. We're literally getting over 1,000 views a day. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. Subscribe to our show. Make sure you get those notifications so we know when we're live. Enjoy your breakfast, even though it was cold today because Lawson was like, start 5 minutes late because I can't get into character yet.
I didn't even hear what you
And
said.
shut up, Paul Bear. So
Get the urn.
check us out. Over there we have not only great sports content, but we have entertainment, news, politics, shit. We have like stuff that's going on with serial killers and courthouses and jurors and shit. Dude, all this stuff's going on. Gaming, movie reviews, what happened on this day, a bunch of shit. We are on X, we're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Blue Sky, obviously YouTube. Go to those certain platforms. TikTok, I don't know if I said that, but if you have one of those platinums, shoot us a follow. Interact with our shit. Maybe we'll interact back. We're nice people. There's also a section under six or under
A bit of a tongue twist right there.
there's also a section called Pods and More. I got a little hyped up, man. Heart was racing.
I
You
get
calm
you.
down. Pods and More. The latest episodes of my other show, 64-Bit Legends. The latest episodes will be posted there. Check us out. Myself and my co-host Melvin Troy. He is also a writer at New Leaf News as well. So check out his content as well as ours. But 64-Bit Legends on X, on Insta. You'll love our content. If you like this show, you'll like that show. I am Bobby Kaboose on both platforms. This is at Lawson _1226. Again, dude, we are today, Merry Christmas in July. When Christmas actually comes around, that day after, that's Lawson's biggest day of the year, and no one fucking cares about it because it's the day after Christmas and we're all hungover and we're just playing with our presents and we're building our Legos and we're doing the shit that we want to do because we're out of school and we're still in our footy pajamas